Building H2O. Again, this is one of the famous Leetcode problem in concurrency. So what exactly they are stating is there are two kinds of thread. One is oxygen thread and a hydrogen thread. Our goal is to simple to make water molecules. So how do you make water molecules? We need two hydrogen and one oxygen, right, to make water. So exactly, we need to make the same water molecules. But the catch is, so for making a water molecule, these threads needs to release from the barrier. So there is a barrier where each thread has to wait until a complete molecule can be formed. So it can only come up with the barrier when I have two hydrogen thread and one oxygen thread combined. Only that time this it can be coming out of from the barrier, and hydrogen and oxygen thread will be given a release hydrogen and release oxygen function. So it has inbuilt function named release hydrogen and release oxygen. So I guess we need to call those two methods if you want to release a hydrogen molecule or an oxygen molecule, and which allow them to pass the barrier. Yeah. So these threads should pass the barrier in groups of three. Yeah, that's what, like, if they want to make a water molecule, then they need to pass it in a group of three, where in the three, two should be hydrogen and one should be oxygen. Okay. So yeah, this is a very simple problem, and let us see if there are any edge cases. So if an oxygen thread arrives at a barrier when no hydrogen threads are present, it must wait for two hydrogen threads. And if a hydrogen thread arrives at the barrier when there no other threads are present, it must wait for oxygen thread. Yeah, it's a simple edge case that at the same time, I cannot have two oxygen thread or three hydrogen thread. I need to just have two hydrogen and one oxygen, right? So that's what even they are saying. And write synchronization code for oxygen and hydrogen molecule that enforces this constant. Yeah. So it's a very simple problem. You can imagine that I have an infinite molecules popping up of hydrogen molecules and oxygen molecules, but I cannot consume everything. I have a barrier and I can only consume two hydrogen molecule and one oxygen molecule at a single time to form water molecule, and I can pass. I can do that in kind of batch. So in one batch, I just need two of the hydrogen molecule, one oxygen molecule. So that's what they're saying. Yeah, answer can be anything. Like many and see, if you take an interval, F3 interval, I just have two hydrogen and one oxygen. At any time, this cannot be 3H or 2O or 3O, anything. Apart from two hydrogen and one oxygen, it cannot be anything. Let us see the solution for this problem. So this hydrogen function and oxygen function was inbuilt. Even this was inbuilt because the renewable has this function in the renewable of the new threads. So how do I solve this? So I can solve this in many ways actually. One is semaphore, one is by using a traditional await and notify all. One is by using atomic integers. So in this video, we'll be solving this in semaphore method. Okay. So I declare two semaphore, one for hydrogen and one for oxygen. And let hydrogen, initially I need two hydrogen, right? So I'll declare it to be counted to be two for the hydrogen semaphore. Let oxygen be zero. And I'll just see the function. So first we can see the oxygen function. So in order to release an oxygen, I need, I'll apply the oxygen lock 2. So what does this indicate? This indicates that I need two hydrogen. So only if I get, only if I know I have two hydrogen, I can release the oxygen. So if I acquire a lock at oxygen 2, and who will release the hydrogen? So in hydrogen function, the release of the oxygen has been written. So when two times this function is called, obviously OS release will also be called two times. So this will be cancelled out. So acquire lock will be opened only when I release oxygen two times. So this is what the edge case was. And whenever oxygen was released, I'll also release hydrogen to be two. This indicates that next time uh, two hydrogen can be consumed. So this solution have made a visualized form of the solution. You can, I'll just share it to you. So it's the same thing. The initial configuration states that I have two hydrogen semaphore and zero oxygen semaphore. So same thing, like I have two hydrogen semaphore and zero oxygen semaphore. Now here oxygen thread will be blocked because I need the counter to be two. Only when that time it will be unlocked. Uh, but the counter is zero now, so it's unlocked. So the thread is not unlocked. I can only unlock when this counter goes to 2. That's what it is stating here. So when that will happen, when I run a hydrogen, very first time I'll release this, right? Oxygen will be released. So whenever OS sub release happens, my counter will goes +1 here. I'll show you. Add hydrogens. Now oxygen permit was 2 because initially we had declared OS to be 2. What will happen? uh, Hydrogen was acquired. So hydrogen semaphore will be uh, from 2 it will be 1 and OS will be released. So from 0 it will be 1. So if I run the hydrogen thread, it got acquired and one oxygen got released. But still I need one more because I have made a lock that OS counter should be 2. Only then I can release the oxygen. So again, if I hit hydrogen thread, so uh, again that time hydrogen, now the counter was 1 and both are 1. Now again there'll be a lock on hydrogen thread, so it will be 0, but OS will be 1 and even one hydrogen will be released. So already there was one released. Again, if I run the hydrogen thread, H became 2 and O. Now I can run the oxygen thread because now I have the desired lock 2, which I had already made. Now I can, my oxygen thread will be released, but my hydrogen thread got blocked because I need at least one, right? HS dot acquire is there. I need at least one, but now hydrogen thread it is 0. So no hydrogen thread has been blocked. Only my oxygen thread has been enabled. So I just run that. No, yeah, we got H2O. So that was the very simple solution for the problem H2O on LinkedIn 1117. Thank you.